Kanpai! Take two.
Every time.
Welcome, weebs, to this week's episode of Kanpai Cast. Today we're talking about power-ups, do's and don'ts. Before we get into that, which is Thaylien's topic, and I have no idea what the heck's going on because I've not been paying attention, as usual, we're going to go into the housekeeping. So, as usual, I don't pay attention to a lot of stuff. I just let it roll on by. Right, first of all, we've got housekeeping. So, usual spiel, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We have an audio version, which is you can either use your podcasting platform of choice, or you could use Spotify because we're on there. We also have Discord, so link in the description. We also do Patreon. All money basically goes to Nasuth, depending on evil schemes and machinations. We also do streaming. Right now, the only other news to give is you won't realistically see it, but there's going to be a complete rebuild of the existing platform so that we can do more stuff. So, like, one of the biggest requests was actually having, like, those spinners and things for, like, what shows we're going to do. I didn't realize how much of an undertaking that was. And Nasuth can attest. Like, I've been experimenting a lot recently, this past week, trying to rebuild.
Not with spinners, but with other things.
Yeah. Well, I need to do that stuff ahead of doing the spinners. So
right.
It's like,
should we? I mean, like, the one thing I think they'll notice is that currently the way it is the way it works out is we put the rating and then the stamps because they're on separate buttons and there's no good way to sync them. But under the new system, they will only show up once both inputs are in there, which I think is nice. I think that's very nice.
It gives us a lot more control and flexibility that doing it straight in OBS wouldn't necessarily give. It also gives Thaylien and I the ability to press the buttons ourselves.
True. Oh, yes. Good point.
That's been one of the big pushes, is to allow us to press buttons and not just entirely rely on Nasuth to have to do absolutely everything. Right.
He is lovely and very reliable, but
he is. But it's a lot of social pressure when he's trying to remember to hit the start timer button. At least that works for all of us.
I mean, anyway, I've finally mostly gotten it, but yeah, this will be better.
So, the burden of the group. Yeah. Right, so, moving on to the main topic, power-ups, do's and don'ts.
This one's one of mine, as you said, and I thought, well, let's have a quick intro. So the idea is that anime has a lot of ways to handle power-ups, and the baseline for this everybody thinks of is Dragonball Z. Because there's two ways that they power up in Dragonball Z. The first being yelling, basically. They train a bit and then they yell very, very loud and try very, very hard and get more powerful. And this often comes with a transformation. The other way is that Saiyans in that show have what's called a Zenkai boost, where if they get beaten almost to death, they come back stronger, and they even make use of that early on in the show a fair few times. Specifically in the Frieza saga, that's a big one, where I believe that Vegeta even has Krillin blow a hole in him so that he can heal back up and gain and get stronger, or supposedly strong enough to beat Frieza as Frieza is at that point.
You're forgetting about the third way, though.
It works.
Forgetting about the third way.
Oh, yes.
The third way is when they combine 6 Super Saiyan souls into a single Super Saiyan God.
Nobody wants Super. Yes. But no, I mean, there is that thing. But that is the amazing thing, is that when Toriyama took back over the show to do Super, after the rather unfortunate thing that was GT.
No, it was after Evolution.
Yes, it was after Evolution as well. So there was GT, then there was Evolution, and oh my word, yeah, he was not having that on his. It'd be the last of his legacy. So he did Super. His habit of making, because the thing he said in interviews that he didn't like was that every time they did a transformation, it'd get more muscular. And so they had, in the Cell Saga, they had Trunks actually do that. They got him to ascend to a level technically beyond Super Saiyan, but it was too bulky, too muscular. He lost all his mobility, and Cell ran rings around him, just with pure speed. And then even showed off by buffing up his own muscles to see I could do that too. And there was they joked about it in the abridged, but it actually did happen that way in the show. So a lot of what Toriyama believes is the most powerful things are often sleek and streamlined. They are often very lightweight looking, like the final form Frieza, before he decided to bump himself up and get super powerful muscles to try and overwhelm Goku. They all try it. They all have this state that makes them more sleek, and that's why in Super, going to Super Saiyan God actually made Goku seem more lightweight than his Super Saiyan form.
Same with Blue. Blue was not nearly as bulky either.
No, it's only once they've gone to Super Saiyan Blue.
Kind of was.
Yeah. But the whole idea was to keep Goku looking different from Raditz as well.
Yeah.
That poor man. Imagine him going Super Saiyan 3.
Oh.
Be more hair than man.
Right. So yep.
Yeah. So there are quite a few comparisons, you might think, to a Dragon Ball Z power-up. But I did want to have a look at a couple that weren't just another power-up in that sense. And so, or some that were worse. Let's be honest. Some are worse. For example, solo leveling.
Anything that has a letter system where, like, where A is better, or A is the best, and it goes down from there. That it just never, like, they're trying to do it like a school system, where A is the best, or A plus or whatever.
It's a video game system.
That too. Well, yeah, but but it just doesn't work, because then you can't, when you do level up, it breaks everything.
Yes. So that's the thing with solo leveling, is possibly one of the worst ways to do a power-up system, because it has its own rules and then it breaks them, right? Yeah. And we see this through solo leveling, in the sense that there is a tower that he has to conquer. It's a hidden dungeon that he can access using a key, and he goes in there at first to test his power, and he barely beats the entry boss. He goes away, he levels up more, gets more experience killing things, and goes through some adventures. And when he comes back, he then has a bit more power to get him through those first levels of the tower and keep leveling up as he goes. But the funny thing is, at the very last bit, he reaches a boss that genuinely outranks him in levels. It's a higher level boss than he is, and that should mean that he can't beat it. In this, the power difference is enough that his own system tells him he can't win. But he uses the Dragon Ball Z style of shouting to overcome your weakness, and somehow finds a way to level up again in the fight.
Yeah.
They just edges him past it.
they did that kind of crap in season 1 too, with the dogs in the very first dungeon and the giant snake at the end of it. You know, like
yes.
He could barely take on a dog that was red, but when he gets to the boss, it's just like, oh, okay, sure, yeah, no big deal.
So those level ups in the first bit, he those ones, you get the opinion that those ones at the start, if a low level hunter could have taken on those dogs, but not all of them.
Yeah,
and he managed to get through it and level up from that. And it was his guts and his determination that kept him going through the final boss. You know, he tried really hard and he managed it where other people would have died, in theory. But once he got to the point of leveling up and out-leveling other things, it genuinely shouldn't have been able to do what he did. So when you put these arbitrary rules onto a system, it should actually stay as a rule. And that's what makes it a really bad system.
If I may interject.
Please do.
I feel that a lot of what solo leveling suffers from, a lot of what Black Summoner suffers from, a lot of these gamified these gamified systems are doing is they're copying a system that is supposed to mimic like real life, right? So I could be wrong, but I think that the core of this stems from things like tabletop role-playing games, where these systems exist to give a positive reinforcement of a character's growth, right? In a TTRPG narrative where they're effectively oh god, how do I express this part? You know, you're going on your adventure, you're gaining experience, and thus you are becoming a better adventurer. You learn new tricks and tips, you learn new skills, you learn new spells, you learn all sorts of stuff. Like, you know, you become better at athletics, you can climb walls better, you can, you know, pick locks better, so on and so forth. You gain this through experience, and effectively this is what is like in real life. You know, you learn about different coding techniques in programming through experience, but how do you represent this in a tabletop scenario? You are not a barbarian with, you know, bloodthirsty rage coursing through your veins. You know, you don't rage out every, you know, you don't have a giant battle axe. I was going to say war axe. Yeah, battle axe. You don't have this experience, so you're trying to make it viable. Now, this is carried over to video games, right? Case in point, games like World of Warcraft, right? Now, the reason why I want to highlight World of Warcraft is that originally, when you leveled up and you basically had the opportunity to learn a new skill, like for a paladin you could learn retribution, or you could do turn undead, or, you know, various different skills and things, or avenging shield, or you'd have to go to a trainer to teach you how to do that, right? Ultimately, they decided, that's too much busy work. Let's just give you the skill there on the spot. So the second you level up, bam, you instantly have that skill. And that is really not what it's like in real life, right?
Exactly.
You know, just instantly knowing stuff, instantly being able to do stuff then and there feels so alien to me. And I feel that anime and, you know, akin to other video games, they are really leaning hard into this whole leveling mechanic to be an alternative for experience in a situation where you should just gain experience.
Yes. And that's the thing. The reason I have an absolute surefire explanation of why that's the case, and it's because people, unfortunately, have a tendency to not be invested in a leveling system if they can't see the results.
Yeah.
So knowing that at level 12 you get this extra thing, you can plan for it, you can grind for it, or you can do something in the game to go and get it. Compared to, say, using gear as an example, where you have to go to a specific place, you have to repeat a task a few times, you get it. That can feel like earning it as opposed to an ability, because you have to exploit the loot drops and things like that. But but a level is a tangible thing where you have a number score that you can build up and you get there, and that gives you a reward, which is the ability. And it's that reward for doing something is a little dopamine hit that people need to keep playing a game sometimes.
It's first off, I want to offer Nasuth, hey, do you want to chime in at any point, or shall I keep going?
Keep going.
Yeah, it's really interesting though, because to me, there is no sense of reward of just constantly leveling up when I can, murderize enemies in droves. I want to feel a sense of accomplishment, and I feel a sense of accomplishment through difficulty, through a challenge, through hardship, right? Not just going oh yeah, I'm now level 900 and I swat you to the, there was a point in World of Warcraft where you got to, I can't remember, they did a level squish. So basically, I think we got to level 120 plus. I can't remember the exact number. And they were like, yeah, these numbers are getting ridiculous because people are doing millions of damage in a single attack, right? So they squished everything down so that the damage numbers and everything were absolutely tiny. And this is one of the reasons why I absolutely love Dan Machi, right? I want to actually put it up on the screen.
Before we move on from solo leveling, I do want to add, though,
please,
moments like Jinwoo protecting the other adventurers that were trapped in the snow world with him, or the moment with his mother where she finally woke up. Both of those were way better in terms of character development than just grinding levels.
Yeah.
Yes, and aura farming.
And so this is why I bring up Dan Machi, is because in Dan Machi, Bell is God, what? He's level 4 or 5 by the time we actually get to season 5. And it's with a lot of video games and so on and so forth, they love to just stick zeros on the end of things. This was the biggest problem with, we're talking about it first, Dragonball Z. Is everything was based on
over 9,000.
Yeah, exactly, right? Why couldn't it be over 9, right?
Yeah.
Or 90, right? Why did it have to be 9,000, right? And I think this
it wasn't, in fact, in the original.
The
original scripting had him over 1,000.
Oh, really?
That makes a lot more sense.
That's why the joke of from the abridged.
Oh, 1006.
It's 1006. Go get it. Oh no, I had it upside down. It's over 9,000.
Right.
It's because the original script for it had him as 1006, and that was going to be enough to defeat Nappa.
Right. But even so, you really tie your hands when you lean so heavily into systems like this, right? I think was it when Goku becomes Super Saiyan, God knows how many episodes later, I think his power level is 1 million, and that's when power levels just disappeared. Akira Toriyama turned around and said, like, power levels were a mistake.
Yeah.
Right?
The moment you put a number to something like that.
Frieza said, in my final form, my power level is 1 million. And so Goku was able to beat him.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's crazy to how people like big number go big. Whenever I play video games, if there are damage numbers, I turn them off, right? I do not. Oh, but how do you know you're doing good damage? Well, if I can't see the health bar of the monster I'm fighting in Monster Hunter, it makes no bloody difference. I don't need to see these numbers, right? Maybe I need to see whether or not it's a weak spot, but,
Yeah, visual damage systems like Monster Hunter, where it starts limping or a piece falls off, that kind of thing.
Or it's scarred,
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Where you can see the results of what you're doing, and it's in relation to what you've actually done. Those are brilliant.
I mean, it wasn't until recently that Monster Hunter even had damage numbers as a thing you could do.
Yeah. But again, like, I love Dan Machi because, no, we're being methodical with this. We're being careful. Like, these characters take seasons to go up one level, right? Bell is a special case.
For them, it's more about the level of the dungeon that they're on, not their actual physical or like their actual character level.
Yeah, it's about the challenge that they're about to face. So
the fact they did what good D&D does, which is they use level ups by feat.
Yeah.
So you have by having accomplished something that is above your skill level, as it were, or above your what you should be able to do, then that's when you get a level up. So we have an example of good power leveling.
It's not just I ground warthogs in the starter level until it's like that one episode of South Park. Where exactly.
Yes.
I've got an interesting one. Well, it's not on our list, but I feel like it's an interesting one all the same, and that is Dandadan, because in that one there's no power levels or anything. All their abilities come from either getting possessed and then figuring out a way around that, or actual like physical training. Like there's no shortcuts in this show.
Correct. The reason that Momo herself is capable of what she's able to do is because she spent years doing something that felt ridiculous, but was actually learning to channel her
psychic powers.
Abilities,
her
psychic powers, through literally going to school with her finger pointing up from her head. And that's in her backstory, is that she did that every day for years. And it helped her form that connection that allows her to use her powers in the first place.
But like, if she doesn't keep a close eye on Okarun, then when he's in Turbo Granny form, then it could go out of his control. If they can't convince Evil Eye to not kill everyone just so he could play with Okarun, he'll go insane and destroy everything. The Silky one's really the only one that doesn't have something like that, I think.
No, but I think the connection between user and power is a lot more grounded. It's
right.
Where Okarun had the ability, sort of like that he was possessed just like Gigi was possessed.
Yeah. But they were able to actually get the spirit out of him while leaving the power.
Yeah, Ira is a completely different, because that was a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, again, one of the major reasons why Dandadan is so much more fascinating and interesting to me than shows like Solo Leveling or The Beginning After the End, or a lot of these overpowering shows, is because they Dandadan are limited. No, it's not that. It's about strategy. It's about how you use the power, right? Again, it's like Naruto is the same. Like, they don't get stupidly overpowered. Like, oh, my punch does a gajillion, quadrillion damage. It's like, how do I use my ability to its best to beat you?
And you need people with more experience to show you. Think about how Okurin actually leveled up one of it. He powered up a bit to be able to take on Evil Eye.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he had to actually, he had to literally earn it.
Yeah.
Yes, he had to go to a place and see what other people were doing right in order to learn how to do it himself. And see how it wasn't so much, being able to move fast. It's being able to move fast with purpose and precision.
Yeah, feeling the rhythm of the battle.
Exactly.
It's...
Because in a lot of ways, battle is like a dance. It's a back and forth. It's,
Yes. Reading your partner or opponent, reading the rhythms and being able to move in a way that puts you at the most advantage.
Yeah.
No, it's good you brought up Naruto, though.
Yeah.
Because that was where I was going to go next. Because Naruto does, in fact, for the most part, put in the work. In terms of power stuff, Naruto himself gets one stupid cheesy power-up at the start of the show, which is he reads a scroll which shows him the technique to do the shadow clone. But it wouldn't have worked for anybody else because of what Naruto's situation is, being the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails and having an abnormal amount of chakra. So if it had been any other character, that genuinely would have been, I could produce one extra clone and I'm half the strength. But for Naruto, it worked.
Just to highlight the value of the shadow clones, because shadow clone is often a term thrown around when anything with ninjas. A regular clone in Naruto can't be touched, right? It is just a visual thing, right? But the shadow clones have a physical presence as well. So that's why him reading it is like, especially, and it does give him a leg up, but it gives him the opportunity to pass his tests.
But it's something that actually genuinely plays throughout the entire rest of the show, is that this is his trick. And you start to see it become useful when he uses it for things like scouting. He sends a shadow clone on ahead, and it's scouting, and when he dispels it, he gets the knowledge from the clone back to himself. Right? And that's the early stuff. But it's then when he wants to learn actual ninjutsu that can help, can be in the combat, give himself a specialty. And he's told about, he gets a mentor, he gets a teacher in Jiraiya, who then shows him that that even if he doesn't have a specialty yet, he can shape chakra into an attack like the previous Hokage did. The previous Hokage made a trick that created a very powerful technique by just molding chakra into a shape that could actually deal damage. And it takes him almost a full season to even start properly learning this trick. And it's only with his clones that he manages to actually do it well. He could get a second clone and control the shaping with a second clone, with a second body. He literally can look left and right at the same time, as it were. And that plays into all of his learning from then on. And he puts the work in, and nothing that he learns feels unearned until the very end of Naruto Shippuden, where he's given some insane bullshit superpower from a long dead deity. I mean, the original, I picked the original Naruto specifically for this because it does take the time in all of its combat situations to show what things actually do and how the techniques actually work, specifically so that it can make a bit of drama around them. So it'll say that, oh no, this person uses bones and grows them hyper fast out of his skin, right? So he can make himself bone armor or bone spikes. He can shoot his finger bones out of his fingertips to make projectiles. But the real reason he's really strong is that he uses this along with an awful lot of actual physical training to get into close combat with this and surprise people with it. So once he gets into a pitched battle with somebody who's actually, in this case, Rock Lee, who is a more powerful hand-to-hand specialist, once the initial surprise is worn off, he's able to actually fight back and win the day by using superior martial arts techniques. So none of the power-ups that Naruto himself or many of his friends get seem unearned. It doesn't take him being beaten half to death to get a Zenkai boost. It doesn't take him yelling about the power of friendship to get these techniques. He yells about the power of friendship because they keep him in the battle. Keeps him fighting so that he can still keep using these techniques when he really shouldn't be able to.
To pivot ever so slightly, again, I still argue that even though I gave up on Naruto because it was so long, I still argue that the combat is one of its most redeeming qualities.
Yes.
I can't remember which year it was. I'm going to bring it up on the screen itself. One of 2019's most popular shows was Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. Right?
I remember watching that, yes.
I hated this show. I absolutely... I couldn't stand it. I can't remember how many episodes I watched before I dropped it, but it was insanely popular online. Like, people were absolutely loving it. And I think they were loving it for, I suppose, the tongue-in-cheek nature of it. Because it was, I think it was supposed to be satire along the lines of One Punch Man and things. But the problem for me was the fact that we had this protagonist that got isekai'd from our world into, this I can't remember if it was like the God's Kingdom or if it was actually into the fantasy world. But
he did stay in the God's Kingdom. He was supposed to go into the fantasy world.
Yeah. But he would overtrain for like literally everything. Instead of like going with 10 health potions, he would go with 10,000 health potions. Instead of going with a single sword, he'd go with 10,000 swords. Like he would always It was way, way over the top.
It's like in the Boy Scouts when they tell you to be prepared. It's just be prepared.
Yeah. Did you progress enough through the show, Zeno, to find out why?
No.
All right.
I think I watched half of it and I was just like, no, I'm done with this.
So the reason that this all happens is because this isn't the first time he's been isekai'd.
Right.
And the first time he was isekai'd, he didn't succeed. He lost all his party died, and the only thing he could keep with him, because you have a status screen, right?
I'm just going to nod and agree.
With every one of these shows has like a status screen.
I've never had a status screen in my life, so
you've never had.
Can't
but
relate.
These shows have.
Can't relate.
He actually used the English word properties to bring up a different status screen, and to bring up his property screen, and it just had the phrase "Don't let it happen again" on his properties from the last time he was isekai'd.
Right.
And the reason he's overly cautious and the reason he keeps doing things is because he absolutely will not let his companions die again. It even turns out that guess who this goddess is that is actually guiding him through, and this is her first time isekaiing a hero.
No idea.
She's his girlfriend from the previous isekai that he let die. And she was raised to goddesshood as an apology.
Right.
So it actually ends up quite dramatic because he realizes that even at max level, he can't defeat the demon lord he's going after, and he uses all sorts of rather dangerous tricks to raise his power beyond what it should be in order to defeat a demon lord that's well above what he should be able to do. So it's there is a redeeming part of the story, just not to the actual show, as it were. The story, yes. Show, no.
I think again, it's down to like utilization of the narrative. Because if that was revealed like earlier on, it would have.
There's solid hints earlier on.
Not hints enough, but yeah. I mean, it's. I do not know what the appeal is. Okay, let's pivot ever so slightly, right? And I'd be interested to know what your guys' opinion is first with One Punch Man, right? To me, One Punch Man is comedy first, right? It is
100%. 100%.
It is a joke first, stupid
cool
action
second. Yes.
Yeah, right?
I mean, the action is cool, but it's not what it was designed for. People who focus on that are doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's like the fact that there are arguments online still to this day of who would win between Saitama and Goku is just like this is everything that the show is mocking.
Yeah.
Right? You know, he is literally the strongest ever and will forever be the strongest, right? No one, you know, he is the one, and is supposed to take the piss out of like Western style superhero comics where, you know,
just anything where the protagonist has essentially plot armor or the story, like Superman, he just has whatever powers the story needs him to have at the time.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes. But you know, it is primarily aimed at the mocking the Western comics because of literally what you've just said. Like every fucking superhero has plot. Like, oh god, there's one story for Spider-Man. Crap, what was it called?
One More Day.
No. It's there's no way in hell I'm forgetting that. No, so basically, at one point in time, it turns. I'm about to describe something shitty. Basically, the spider bestowed its powers on Peter Parker. Right? It wasn't a case of Spider-Man was infected and mutated and things like that. It was the spider gave him its powers, which is just like, what the hell?
Okay.
But it turns out, so there's the spider totem. So there's a huge bunch of people that are like spider endowed people, and they are.
Oh, it's a spider totem. Okay, all right.
Yes, spider totems. Right, so they're totems, and but likewise, there is another species, right, that are basically vampires that specifically eat the souls of the spider totems. Right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now,
multiversal supernatural entities created by the elder goddess Nasuth. Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's just like,
is this where Madame Web comes from?
Oh, hold on.
This
is the Web of Life plot line. I know this one. Somebody's able to literally cut Peter Parker's connection to the Web of Life. It resets him to a state where he never became Spider-Man and lets him live out an ordinary life
No.
It's a follow-on storyline to this concept because the spider totems is what
it may be
the web of life stuff. Yeah,
the great web.
So the whole point is that he's fighting this vampire. The vampire is like his natural predator. It is kicking his ass, right? There is no way for him to win. It is stronger, faster, smarter. But the cool thing about being Spider-Man is that because he was dosed with radiation when he was bitten by the spider, it means that he can handle abnormal amounts of radiation. So he goes and irradiates himself so that when the vampire tries to drink his soul, the vampire consumes the radiation.
What the fuck is an ultraverse?
Yeah.
I need to stop. I need to stop reading this. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to focus. I need to focus up.
But that's the whole point. That is the whole fucking point. One Punch Man is just taking the piss out of all of this garbage. Right? Yep.
Is it ultraverse a higher level of multiverse? Like, what the fuck is going on, Marvel?
Don't care.
Don't care. It's not even a high level of multiverse. Out there in the multiverse, there is the Ultraverse, which is a reference to the Ultra universe.
Okay.
Also known as don't care, right? But it's stupid. It is so like, and that's I feel that even though Saitama is stupidly powered and you've got all these heroes that are incredibly skilled and everything, you've got some heroes that, like, you know, I will always respect Moomin Rider for just being a normal guy trying to do good, right? But some of the heroes are just mental. Like the guy with the slingshot that's like got projectiles that memory alloy into bullets the faster they go, and it's like these heroes are absolutely bonkers. But that's the bloody point.
Yeah, I'm actually, you know, you were saying that you weren't sure how many people would like this season because there's not a lot of Saitama. I'm actually kind of excited to see more of what these other heroes can do, you know, without him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, but yeah, it's but at the same time, I love how One Punch Man mocks all this stuff.
Yes.
But the greater community just can't. Yeah, the greater community is just like, oh, I need more. Oh, I need more. Oh yeah.
I'm most interested to see the anime introductions of Captain Mizuki and Psychos. They are characters I am very much appreciative of and want to see more of. I think the side note, the one that we saw from the 3-episode rule, the little side thing with Zombie Man investigating the former, they actually will show us the return of Mosquito Girl as well.
Maybe
she comes back.
Only in the side notes, the omakes at the end of each chapter, she'll pop up occasionally.
Okay.
Because he could just reclone her, but he doesn't clone her in her full mosquito appearance. She's basically just, you know, a cute anime girl with a mosquito headdress.
Yeah. All right. Does anyone want to take this anywhere specific?
I've got one. Ragna Crimson. So.
Oh God.
The thing about Ragna Crimson is that there are no power levels or anything. There's no leveling up, but they still power up, right? Because, well, to begin with, our main character gets knowledge from his future self and also, like, abilities and stuff that his future self spent decades unlocking. But, like, that's not the part I have an issue with. The part I really have an issue with is towards the end. It's like the entire last arc of the show where they're essentially in this stronghold and they're surrounded by 3 of the dragons and they're having to, like, come up with strategies to get, you know, to try to get everyone, like, hold the dragons off until they can teleport everyone out of there. And they just keep, like, over and over again, they keep doing this where they're on their last legs, they can barely go on, and then suddenly they're like, oh, but we can just dig deeper and start and keep going. And it's like, how you can't do that 17 times in a row. I'm sorry. At some point, these people are going to just wear out, but they're going purely on like burning spirit at that point, and it just doesn't work. After you can get away with that once or twice. You know, we see that in other shows where like they're on their last legs and then they remember their family or friends and they're like, you know, desperation pushes them forward. That burst of adrenaline, but burst of adrenaline. Yes, I get that. That is a thing that actually happens. People will get sudden adrenaline bursts and do something amazing. But
last gasp or second wind, things like that.
Exactly. But you can only do that once or twice, not 17 times in a row.
Because once you're at that point, it ends.
Yeah, and you're gonna be even more fucked up because of what you've done. Like you pushed yourself past your limit.
I mean, this is why. Okay, so I wanna make this super brief, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk. God, I hate doing this. I want to talk about one of my bugbears with Warframe.
Okay.
Right? Okay. I promise not to drag this out, but years and years and years ago, they removed stamina, right? And that doesn't make sense to me. The whole point of stamina for sprinting is like you can't maintain a sprint. If you are going full out, you can do it for a short duration and then you just either collapse or have to stop, right? You slow yourself down, right? But removing the stamina just felt you're removing a limit that is genuinely there. Yes, it's a video game, but in real, it breaks the immersion for me.
I think you can get around this because early on, it was very clear that these were power armors that we were wearing, and it's only later that they decided to make it a robot thing, like a bioengineered thing that is being piloted remotely. So stamina to me makes sense when it's you inside a power suit. But I think you can get away with saying because these are engineered and we don't know what components are in them, like Orokin reactors, they could have more energy than your typical person. I still prefer to have stamina, but
no, but it's like the Ragna Crimson thing, right? If you are sprinting, if you are going full out, there is no way you can maintain it. If you are going full out and you can maintain it, you are not sprinting.
If you're a robot, you can.
Yeah.
No, but that's not sprinting then, right? If you can keep going.
No, that's just top speed.
Okay, it's just running, not sprinting. Great, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right? And that to me is, I feel a lot of the shortcomings from the greater anime community that are just like, I will happily accept things like Ragna Crimson, where it's just like, no, this is ludicrous. This is too much.
I mostly liked Ragna Crimson, but that was just beyond anything. Like, it was so bad the way they handled it.
To briefly go back to Dragonball Z, Senzu beans. What the fuck do they even do? I don't understand.
Yeah. Not sure, but I believe they're magical.
So
they bypass the technology and bypass the thing. They restore your stamina, physical well-being, and mental energy to full.
But do they heal you?
Yes.
You see,
we see it by the use Goku's got a broken arm, and they literally snaps himself out of his cast when he's got a broken arm. When given a senzu bean.
You see, when ki flows through your yin and yang inside in a perfect harmony, it can heal you. This is a known fact.
So this is a senzu. So why aren't these grown en masse on Earth?
They're very, very difficult. We find that out in the original Dragon Ball. Senzu beans are incredibly difficult to get, which is why when they took a whole, remember Krillin had that gigantic bag of them during the Frieza saga. Okay, that had been years worth of growth by Korin.
Right. So is Korin the only one that?
Korin's the only one that grows them with the water of life on his
which is why they have the key in them,
the
ability to activate your yin and yang and
right.
Cycle the key.
So this is where I'm like, Bulma, you're smart. Mass produce. Hand over.
No, you can't. You can't. There's not enough water of life.
Bulma, you have Dragon Radar. Wish Dragon. Wish thousands of Senzu beans into existence in your vaults.
Yeah.
There's only one time when there's only one time when Senzu beans did not work. Is when Goku had the alien heart virus.
Oh god, yeah.
That he got from eating aliens.
And
he could eating alien food.
Bulma would rather spend her wish
he picked up from
1 year
space.
Younger.
Yeah, it was. Frieza kept getting 5 centimeters. Wanted to get 5 centimeters taller. Bulma wanted to keep it as of 5 years younger.
Yep.
Which is why she never ages.
Yep. Anyway.
Do we want to talk about?
Okay, from this bullshit, I keep getting stronger when I'm in trouble thing, is a line that gets accused an awful lot at Bleach.
Okay.
And Bleach to me is an anti-power leveling system. Because this is one where the author clearly had the thing planned out in advance of how he wanted his progression to go. And the simple answer is that unlike a lot of these other shows, the main character isn't what they say they are at all. So the thing with Ichigo is he's not a Shinigami, despite the fact he seems to have their powers.
He's not
a Quincy either.
Quincy.
Well, he's part Quincy.
He's part everything.
Yeah, he's part everything.
Yeah.
His father was a Shinigami. His mother was a Quincy. He is human, ostensibly born in the mortal world, and his mother was attacked by a artificial hollow.
Kingfisher was artificial?
No, not Kingfisher. We're talking about in the 1,000-Year Blood War, shown that you learn that she was originally attacked by Aizen's creation, White. And that's how she and Ichigo's father met.
Right.
Is because he was fighting this white hollow.
Right.
He means white as in W-I-G-H-T.
No, I don't actually. I mean the color.
Wow.
No,
okay.
It was ironic because the hollow, unlike all other hollow, was all black and was white on the inside.
Okay.
It was strange because hollows always have a hole in their chest from where they've lost a connection to their body, the connection to the mortal world. Aizen filled it up with the souls of other hollows, so making it more powerful. He unleashed it on the human world, and one of the captains, which is Ichigo's dad, came down to stop it, and it was ultimately stopped by him and a Quincy girl called Misaki, who is basically lured it in to bite her, and then used a Quincy bow to shoot it through the head while it was still attacking her. But that attack basically left the essence of white in her, and through Urahara, the mad scientist on Earth, he infused Ichigo's father's Shinigami powers into Misaki to fight off the hollow influence on the inside, so leaving him as pretty much immortal and her as pretty much immortal. So they grew up, got married, and had a kid who distilled all of those influences into himself. And the whole show is...
Even Ichigo's sisters don't have this.
Yes. Oh no, they do have it a bit.
Okay, good.
Yuzu is very much like Misaki. She looks like she might have a ability to use Quincy powers by the end of things, but doesn't actually do anything. And Karin can quite clearly see the same way that Ichigo used to be able to see. She just ignores things. She doesn't want to get evolved. She's a moody teenager and tells everything to fuck off. It's kind of cute. Anyway, so the entirety of the show is basically that Ichigo has these powers, and the Quincy influence in him is suppressing his powers the entire time. And when he's in trouble, he lets a little bit of the powers out to save Ichigo's life. So every time you see Ichigo get saved by basically turning into a hollow halfway, like in his battle with Captain Kuchiki,
it's because of this.
Up on the Sogoro, and his battle with Kenpachi, when he gets quite clearly stabbed through the chest, the hollow mask appears and saves him. And that's because all the way through, even the fact that at one point he's able to stop bleeding temporarily. That's the Quincy power of Blutvein manifesting. And so every time it seems like he gets a bullshit power up, it's not. It's his own power actually being released a bit until the very end.
Like bullshit to me. That sounds like some
Thousand-Year Blood War, where he's finally at full power in the 1,000-Year Blood War.
Like I will give Bleach, like Kubo, I will say he seemingly has put a hell of a lot of thought into all of his narrative, like from the beginning. I don't know how much he put into this, but it doesn't feel like... So one of my biggest gripes with My Hero Academia...
That's how ass-pully everything feels.
No, it's not just that, but like... If you think about the... Sorry, I'm trying to find My Hero Academia, and I obviously can't do two things at once. If you think about the very beginning of My Hero Academia, can you remember at all how the series starts?
Yes.
Yeah. Midoriya is watching like All Might on TV, and eventually he gets to eat the hair, and
that's technically the beginning, but it's not the very beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's where Midoriya is being teased for not having any powers.
Nope.
No, is that not it?
No, the very, very beginning of the series is actually a kind of an epilogue, right? Oh, this is the story of how I beat the greatest villain of all, blah, 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 blah. And,
yes.
Right? But the thing is, his arms aren't fucked.
Yes.
Right? And he still has his powers.
Yes, this was brought up. Yes, this was brought up. I'm remembering, yes.
His arms aren't fucked, and he still has powers. Right? But,
but in reality,
that's not the case. Like it obviously feels like that the author was,
he just wanted to have a start that got people's attention. Like, oh yeah, but it's definitely going to go here someday.
But obviously it hasn't gone there.
But had no actual plan to go there.
Yeah, but I will say
Kubo... He hadn't written the whole story yet, so he hadn't put all these different traumas in there yet.
Well, I'm not expecting him to have put in, like, all the minutiae and things like that. But the idea of...
the basic trauma and character progression should have been there.
Yeah, but I feel like, Kubo with Ichigo is just like, right, I want him to have these things. I may not flush them out entirely... until much later
at least you have at least an outline of where you want things to go.
That's why he will have the ability to do this and this and this in these specific situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It planned for him to have these powers. He didn't just pull them out his ass.
Yes. And I
used to read long ago when I was a kid. I got into these books called the Bulgariad. And then later I read, there's like a whole bunch of books by that author. But anyway, I later read
them all.
He released something called the Riven Codex, which was describing how he and his wife went about the writing process, because she always helped him with this stuff. And it was really interesting to hear, like, we want to make sure the world has a good, solid foundation, and we know where we want our character. We know these major story beats of where we want our characters to go to get to the end. Sometimes we start with the end and work backwards, but we always make sure to at least have these major milestones. I think if you don't do that, if you just... I mean, we saw this in TV all the time back in the day, right? Shows would be like, they would be designed to just keep going. There was no, we're gonna run this for 5 years and then stop because we have a story that we want to tell. No, it was, how can we get another season out of this to make more money? And that never works out well. You end up with a My Hero Academia situation.
Yeah, no, the My Hero Academia one really worried me when I heard that rather than actually just mastering One for All as his thing and having a way to do that and draw out the full power of it, it then turned into a stupid thing of, oh yeah, the powers of the previous wielders of All for One, so of One for All, have left their mark on the DNA as well.
Yeah.
So you can start using those. Like, that's not power regression. That's not a thing. That's plot convenience.
Yeah. Yep.
So
one of the biggest mistakes of all like powers in general is power to have more powers. Like, you know, it's. I think a lot of people have seen like Rogue from X-Men and just gone like, I like that power, that's a good power. But I think none of the adaptations of Rogue have ever...
What do you mean? You didn't like the two characters in Heroes that could steal or could use other people's powers?
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Fuck off with Heroes.
Like, seriously.
Save the Jubilee, save the world.
The greatest thing with Rogue was the fact that, you know, when she would take people's powers, she would also take a part of their personality, or you know, she would you know, it would psychologically damage her. And
it was either temporary or it was permanent, and if it was permanent, she would take on. She would kill them.
It wasn't just yeah, even temporarily, she would still take a copy of their like psyche and things like that.
Yeah, like if she did it to Beast, she became more analytical.
Yes, exactly. But it was a temporary thing until she started taking too much, and then she permanently changed herself.
Exactly.
But then, but every other, so you know what Nasuth was referring to with the live action series Heroes with Peter Capaldi. I think it was Peter. No.
Oh no, Peter Petrelli.
Peter Petrelli.
And also Sylar.
Sylar, yeah. Oh my god, it's just like they could just have powers, and there was no downsides. There was never any. Oh my bloody god.
Yep.
Most overpowered characters and just awful.
You
know.
So that just makes me think of the power-ups that don't mean anything.
In what sense?
When you have a power in a show, and in this case I'm thinking of Tougen Anki.
Oh dear.
Okay. You have a power that is from the outset adaptable, flexible, and has this innate ability to grow. Right? That should be your key. That should be what you think of, and how you expand your character is you expand their powers through adapting them and overcoming their weaknesses, and utilizing them in ways that your enemies don't expect. Right? You don't just add another bullshit power on top, right? And specifically, you don't add it in the middle of a fight with flashback exposition. That doesn't matter. That just explains why they suddenly have this, and then it doesn't even work. Right?
Well, okay, that's kind of cool. Actually,
this is a combination of coming back from exhaustion too many times, where he's using up his own blood to launch explosives, basically, and bullets. And then
And it's not like you can
he's
make
getting
more blood very
beaten
quickly.
handily. Yeah, he's getting beaten handily by a guy that can use gravity powers. You know? And he uses the power of friendship of somebody else calling out his name and relying on him to get him to stand up again. And then his blood catches on fire, and you have a flashback exposition that says, in the past, there were these mythical versions of these people that are already mythical people, that when the balance forces too much in favor of the one side, these 8 powerful people appear on the other side to fight back and cause the balance to be reset. And they all have an elemental power, and this guy is obviously the fire elemental version of these powerful creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, so you just upgraded to a shiny fire type in the middle of a battle when you're already exhausted, and you use it, and you still didn't win the fight until you were able to get a lucky shot off, basically. And I'm like, why? Why did this have to exist? Why did you not have your character just use something creatively? You know, was it too much for him to use an extra brain cell? We know the character's not supposed to be smart. You know, he's supposed to be all gung ho and complete and take things head on. But if it's clear that head on isn't working, he does have the ability to try something that's not head on.
Well, it's because he didn't apply it directly to his forehead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so, no, his burning desire to stand up and fight actually set him ablaze, and he became a fire type elemental on top. I am glad.
Literal burning passion.
Yep.
Or burning
spirit. I think
it's quite clear.
I feel like a lot of the problems when it comes to shonen, I feel like for the most part I've grown out of shonen. I've massively grown out of shonen.
Could that be because you're 40?
Quite possibly. It could also be the fact that I've never really been massively into it. Right? Yes, I've watched most, if not all, of Dragonball Z, but there was not a great deal of anime to choose from at the time. I've watched a lot of Bleach. I've watched a lot of Fairy Tail, the Naruto and things like that. But just at a certain point, you come to the realization this is the same old shit every fucking time, right? And this is why I will always appreciate my pivot now to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, right?
Here we go.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is everything that you see in... That's not JoJo.
That's not JoJo, that's Blame.
The screen is not showing JoJo. I will have to fix that.
I blame Xeno.
Imminently. And I'm going to put them all on. There you go.
Eminently in shadow.
There you go, all of JoJo's. Right, the big thing with JoJo's is that you get that point where every main protagonist becomes a Super Saiyan, right? Every main protagonist gets that crazy, stupid power, but that's at the end of the part, and then it resets. New cast, back to baseline, everyone is building up from scratch. And to me, that is so much more appealing. Like, I'd much rather have those starting levels of World of Warcraft where everything was new and fresh than the later stuff, which is just like, okay, I've been doing this for God knows how long now, and I'm bored out of my fucking skull. Right?
Although it is weird to think that Josuke and Jono are in the world at the same time with their crazy powers, and they never meet or anything, even by the time of Stone Ocean.
Right, but they're halfway around the world from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
world's a big place.
You know, and like.
But you'd think
I would have
stand
thought
users
Josuke-
would kind of want to keep track of each other.
I got a funny feeling that Josuke comes back for part 9. I've got a funny feeling. I'm not entirely. Was it part 8? I'm not entirely sure.
Well, but but isn't that after the reset?
Oh, fair point. Fair point. Yeah, I you know, but I don't really know much about anything past 6, but but the whole point I'm trying to make though is the fact that
yeah.
like having that reset just makes it so much more enjoyable because it can build up to the silly and ridiculous, but it doesn't have to escalate further.
It's like
Yes.
if instead of Dragon Ball Z focusing on the same characters, it was a different world entirely that also had Dragon Balls.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Think about it. Remember remember what I've told you before about the Frieza saga was supposed to be the end of Goku.
Yeah.
Yeah, the heroic sacrifice. So the Super Saiyan came out, appeared, and was then going to sacrifice himself to destroy the evil emperor.
And then you have
and the thing was supposed to be
Vegeta.
Gohan.
Who could also
and
work
his
towards it.
in that, and Gohan was supposed to take over and have all this potential to be the great version of him and be stronger in a different way because Gohan actually was book smart as well.
Yeah.
And it was only because of the popularity of Goku that they didn't do that.
But
and
even
it could have had
so,
the same thing.
But even so, like, even if you were to say, okay, Gohan takes over after the Frieza saga, right? Gohan then would still be leagues stronger than when Goku started at the start of Dragon Ball Z, or
Yes, he would.
Yeah,
You're right. He would be.
He would be able to kick Vegeta's
at the
ass
same
in the
time.
Saiyan saga.
They are still then weak enough that an enemy like King Cold coming to get revenge is a lesser power than Frieza, but would have been a challenge to the Z fighters.
You could also lean into the fact that he's young enough that he doesn't know a lot of technique. He only has raw power. And so he'd need to refine his techniques and learn from smarter people like Roshi or even Vegeta.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But
Vegeta could have taken him on a road trip around the universe, and they could have met strong fighters through being the last Saiyans.
I still think Xeno's right that it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same level of reset as, say, going to a different planet and
you're correct.
Seeing a group of different fighters coming up from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm really interested to know how well JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was picked up by the Japanese community, because obviously the Japanese influence is what kept Goku around. You know, was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure not popular enough to have the same desire, or did Araki just turn around and say like, nah, fuck you, I'm doing what I want?
I think didn't the light novels and manga came first, and he had the plan.
Just manga. It was just manga.
It was just the manga. Yeah, so I think his manga would have been the driving factor, where you go on from the original's arc to replacing him, and that would have been a thing before the anime was made. So
no, but like
Gohan, for as referenced as JoJo's is, it was definitely doing its own thing before the anime was made.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
Plus, in Z, well, by the time Z came around, you had a whole group of people that had already grown up with Dragon Ball, and so they would have potentially not liked to have seen Goku go away in the new series. Whereas in JoJo, you know, it's not, you don't have that whole backstory. You know, you've got Jonathan and then Joseph and then Jotaro. So by the first three groups, you're already used to having a different protagonist.
exactly. The idea of them growing old and being replaced by their successors was coded into it by the time it became popular.
Whereas Goku had already had a huge backstory.
I'm trying to find when in Dragon Ball Z, the manga, when did that come out with the Frieza saga versus when was the anime airing? Yeah.
I think they were going pretty concurrently.
I'm not 100% sure, but the same, it does like raise the question of like, when did where was that influence coming from? Was it coming?
Yes. So the manga chapter was 317, titled "Life or Death," released on March 19th, 1991. The anime debut of Super Saiyan was literally later that year.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. So, basically, I was wondering whether or not the manga was sufficiently ahead that the anime hadn't made Goku that popular by that point. But I mean, obviously, that's wrong. So,
it was running fairly concurrently.
Yeah.
Which is why after the
and again, remember they had Dragon Ball. They had the whole Dragon Ball series before that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but after Frieza Saga, they had the whole filler season.
Dolly Jr.
Yeah, they did. They had a whole filler season to get through that before the manga was far enough ahead they could make the actual next arc.
Okay.
I think they even got. They even did the Heaven Saga, where he's like learning about that and putting the villains back into the Home for Infinite Losers. With Pycon. Wasn't that the one? That was in the anime as well, but it wasn't in the manga. Right. I think it was Omaki in the manga, something stupid like that. Yeah.
Where do you guys want to take this now?
I was going to keep it on Shonen and go with Fire Force, because after my rant about Tougen Anki and his fire powers. Made me want to think of Fire Force, because as I even though I found some of the aspects of this show contentious to me, they do the powers right. Okay, so in Fire Force you have literally the original that catch on fire are the Infernals, the bad guys. Then you have second generation people who or people able to do something with fire, which are literally just people who can control flames when they exist. And then you get the third generation, which is what our protagonist is, where they create fire in a unique way. In our boy's case, literally from his feet, so he can jet power himself or fire blasts from his feet, versus his counterpart Arthur, who creates concentrated beams of fire that look like plasma, and he makes a sword out of them. And in the series, they're facing off against enemies that are much, much more stronger than them, have more fighting experience and powers geared around beating regular second and third generation fire soldiers. They're literally people designed to overthrow the modern society and bring about the end of the world. So they're not winning. And they meet the one guy that's like the most powerful fire soldier in their little world, who is able to do both. He can make flames and he can control flames. His name's Benimaru. He's one of the captains. And he teaches them the hard way, by literally beating the shit out of them, how to use their powers in new ways. So for our protagonist, his power is to produce the fire for his feet, but he says, well, I'll teach you to use it fast. The faster you go, the more velocity you have, the more powerful your hits will be. You know, because it doesn't matter about a specific weight of you. Velocity counts as everything, you know, in terms of hitting hard. And he teaches him tricks and techniques to speed him up to the point where he can literally dash through people at incredible speeds and even catch up to one of these guys that has the power to seemingly stop time. And he's able to dash fast enough that he's at a normal pace when this guy's trying to attack him through stopped time. Kind of like the JoJo's idea. With JoJo just keeps on moving even though the world is active. You know, so time stop doesn't work if you're fast enough to counter the slowdown. And it takes effort, it takes time. These guys go through hell. You can actually see the exhaustion on them for the episodes they're doing this. And how ragged Benimaru beats them. And it does take even a psychological toll where they're trying to get this through and they're not succeeding at first. They only manage to succeed in what ends up being like a life or death situation. Towards the end, they're given the techniques, but they have to go and use them in combat. And it's only then that the teachings, that the mindset is right for them to be able to use these tricks correctly. And it's technique and mindset. It's not just having more power.
Well, what's the difference between this and Naruto?
I wasn't saying it's the difference between this and Naruto. I'm saying the difference between this and Tougen Anki.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So the difference between this and Naruto is as long as it's chakra related, you can learn pretty much anything. As long as you can have access to, if you have the type of chakra that can control fire, for example, then any fire technique near enough is available to you. And it's only ones that are in bloodlines that are inaccessible to you. Mm-hmm. You know, that pass down through actual DNA bloodlines. Whereas in Fire Force, you get one type of fire. You know, you produce it the same way every time, but it's how you use it, the effect that you get from that. So, yes, he can launch himself into the air on pillars of flame from his feet, but using it as a jet engine to accelerate to insane speeds didn't occur to him. It wasn't a thing he knew, and so now that he can get around people who have, say, faster reaction times or better defense. If somebody can throw up the defense between themselves and him that he can't kick through, then he's now fast enough to get behind them into their blind spot, where he wasn't before. You know, it's technique and mindset, battle experience that's being given to him that makes it different from slop like Tougen Anki.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say this sounds more about the experience that, you know, they gain through training or combat than, you know, just
yelling to get stronger.
I've leveled up. Huh?
Yeah. Yelling to get stronger.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, yelling to get stronger doesn't work in this show. There's plenty of times in season 1 and season 2 where the characters, including the protagonists, get tired, run out of steam, and have to resort to literally human kicking and punching because they aren't able to use their powers anymore, and somebody else has to step in and take the fight over. You know, while they go and recuperate. There's not, in terms of the actual like adrenaline surge and power usage kind of thing, there are actual limits that they can't get past, which is pretty impressive for a shonen show like this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to take this anywhere else?
I would switch entirely, actually, because I put some of these in the list because of how they are completely different. And I would say it doesn't get much more different than Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Okay.
Now, Cyberpunk Edgerunners I really like because it's set in a universe where there are direct consequences for gaining power. Yeah, and we see them clearly, where somebody who uses too much chrome screws over their mental state, and eventually they break. Where it is entirely a system of knowing your limits and not passing them, because you will break.
Cyberpsychosis isn't a real thing. It can't hurt you.
If you think you're suffering from cyberpsychosis, you really aren't. Contact us on this free phone number.
I mean, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, though, is an absolute fantastic series. I do feel that there is slightly something wrong with the adaptation, because David's use of the Sandevistan seems a little too excessive.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's got a very special mind.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they went a bit more into that, but maybe it was a simple case of like, well, that's not the world of Night City and things like that. It's a very interesting setting, and again, I think it's not about the... It's an interesting one because like they don't have the innate ability of what this technology gives the users. Like, you know, Lucy's ability to just hack stuff isn't, you know, natural born. It's both the cyberization of the individual plus training and experience. Torture. Well, no, I mean it's the training and experience, right? Because
yes.
She can hack better than other people with the same gear because she's more experienced. She's got talent at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, you know, for example, I've always had a tendency towards things like electronics and computing and things like this. Like when it comes to chemistry and biology and shit, I've not a fucking clue, right? I've always felt when it comes to chemistry, like there's a shit ton of rules that do not apply to like 50% of chemistry, and it's just like, then how is this a rule? Like, you know, it's a very common English, rule is I before E except after C.
Oh,
except
that's not even true.
Bollocks, because there are more words with E before I, and C's not even involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
and of course things like species has an I for E directly after a C.
Yeah. So it's
mm-hmm. Think about it this way, Xeno, for Cyberpunk.
Yeah. No, sorry. My point was people having my point was some people have a better knack for picking stuff up, right? Like that. Mm-hmm. That's that's where I was going with. Yeah, natural talent, and I feel that Lucy has natural talent. I feel, again, David has natural talent because he was running the Sandevistan without tranquilizers for God knows how long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And you saw the damage it caused a couple of times.
Yeah.
He used it more than he should have. And he'd get minor nosebleeds and then dizziness and then fall over.
Yeah. I feel that the Cyberpunk Edgerunners is an interesting way of looking at it, because could you really call any of the people that aren't cyberized actual characters? Because they will have no special talents, gifts. They're just, they're no different from a fire hydrant on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they cannot participate.
Cremated remains.
Oof, dude.
And even then, but the thing is, with Cyberpunk, every single person has some degree of cyberization to access technology with. They can, they all have a sort for loading data into their heads so that they can be chipped. And it's actually used against them in the game, as there's people that literally go around and plug chips into people to cause intentional blocks in their thing. The starting quest in Cyberpunk 20... Yeah, the starting quest in 2077, the game, is you're rescuing a person that was captured by scavs, because she literally inserted a chip into her brain that interrupted her ability to call for help.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. So it's a rough world in that respect. Think of it this way, you know, the Sandevistan is his initial start into it. Halfway through the season, he upgrades his whole body.
Yeah.
To keep up and be able to do with these other things. And that's where it starts to go downhill for him. He hits a point where he's too cyberized, and he starts suffering from cyberpsychosis the same way that his predecessor did.
No, it started going downhill when he was living in Night City. I mean, like,
that's true.
You know, Gloria did nothing wrong.
No. So when after Main died, he basically becomes the new Main. Not quite to the same muscular extent, but he becomes the new Main and goes the same way in the end, as we know. He even pushes himself too far. He gets another bit of cyber gear that is too much. Yeah. Too much for him, too much for pretty much anyone. But he deals with it because he's got a goal. And that is, he gets the power. But it comes with the cost. And it's always been the cost. And it was clear from the very start of the show when we see the first guy with the Sandevistan taking out police left, right, and center happily, but then ultimately failing because he's insane. You know? And that's how the whole story begins. No matter how strong you are in this, if you push your cybernetics too far, you lose yourself. Well, gotta say, it's so different to any of the other power-up systems we've seen in the list. Had to put it in.
I think another one that is an absolutely excellent comparison is the power system in the first season of Rising of the Shield Hero, and there are no further seasons. There's only
That's
one
why
season.
I put it in. That's why I put it in.
Like, it's a really interesting and unique setting, and I love the fact that, you know, we have characters from different worlds, different versions of Japan that have different experiences with games, and their perception of the system is what dictates how the system works for them. And so that's a really interesting, unique element that I don't think is replicated anywhere else.
No,
you heard it here. Xeno likes multiverse.
No. It's the perception of how the system works is what dictates how the system works. Right? That's the thing I like about it. Shut
because
up,
of
multiverse crap. Fuck off. But I like the talent tree like system that Naofumi has, because it's not about getting to insane levels. It's about being
it's expansion through experience. So
well, I mean, it is about getting to insane levels for Raftalia and his other cohorts.
Well, yeah, but it's more a case of, for him, it's about how you use the shield, because what is something that's commonly not known, because it's kind of skipped over in the series, is that the more times he uses the shield, he can use that ability without having to transform the shield and make it exclusively that thing. So, for example, if he absorbs enough rope into the shield, he can then use the rope powers of the shield without having to turn the shield into the rope shield, right?
Yes.
Same goes with the herbs, same goes with you start seeing him later on using the prison spheres without having to transform
airstrike shields and things. Yes,
without having to transform the shield at all, because he has enough experience into individual shields. And I really like that about the system. Too bad there's only one season of the thing.
Yeah,
it's really interesting for me, because that is a thing that is used in some video games. So something that he might have had access to in his world without any concept, because he got there through, he read the introduction to the book, not even a video game. But other video games in our world use that system that he might well have played. So it might play into that. Okay? We know it's a thing that exists, and so he would then have that in his subconscious. So his perception of the level up system would be that if you use something enough, you can then get it without having to transform your weapon.
I mean, it's more of a survival game mechanic than it is a RPG mechanic. But I'm pretty sure
it's in Final Fantasy quite a lot.
What do you mean?
You can unlock for example, Final Fantasy VII. You can unlock the different sword abilities, different limit breaks, while using a different sword, as long as you've got enough experience, you've used them enough times.
That's I don't know about the remakes or anything like that. I know that was kind of how it worked with the materia, but if I remember correctly, the experience system for like the individual materia and weapons and things was kind of obfuscated, so you didn't know. Like, I remember going like, oh, why do I have Cure 2? It's like Cura 2 or Cure Jesus fucking Christ, I can't say the fucking word. Thunder 3 or whatever. Like, why do I suddenly have these?
Thunder, Thundaga, and so, you know.
Yeah. But it's like, why do I have these? And it's just like, oh, it's because the materia themselves are actually leveling up. And
that is clearer in the remake.
Oh, good.
And it's actually explained a bit. But the weapons that you use, the reason you have different weapons in the games is because they have different limit abilities.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you know, cross slash, omni slash and things are all part of different swords. And you can go back to whichever weapon you prefer once you've unlocked the ability. Right. You can then slot that for use on your in your battle sheet, your battle options instead.
Fair enough.
And now I want to go back and play FF8. Thanks for that, Thaylien.
Yeah. So now Phoebe could have had that in his thing. So his perception of the level up system could have basically allowed that, because he thought that that's a thing in a level up system.
I suppose. So, but again, it's a very unique and interesting system that I don't think I've seen anything else
in an anime,
properly.
No.
I mean, like, I think. The problem is a lot of the ones that do something similar is like, oh yeah, one and done. It's like, oh, you only need to like absorb. Sorry, I'm looking at Reincarnated as a slime. You only need to absorb like one of this thing, and then you've 100% unlocked the thing. I'm like, could we not? Can we eat more than one of it?
Meanwhile, Piccolo has to charge up every time you use the special beam cannon.
Yeah, so that was actually, thinking of slime, that was actually how the series started, is that he only got the ability to produce a healing liquid was because he ate so many healing plants, right? So he can then distill them into a healing elixir inside his body because he'd eaten so many. The same with the crystals he ate. He got a special ability out of that because he ate so many. It's only with unique things to unique enemies that he only has to eat one of them to get them.
Okay. I don't really want to linger too much on slime, because I feel like...
No, I kind of want to use it as another thing of the video game expansion, along with So I'm a Spider, So What? Because you mentioned this thing of just reaching a new level and you can select an ability, right? And both of these suffer from this. Okay, where you level up enough, you get enough experience, and you can gain something completely new that you have no idea how it works. Right?
But they just seemingly were experts at it.
Yes, exactly, because the knowledge of it is like downloaded into your brain. And that's where these fall over. I mean, Spider makes it a plot point. Spider makes it a whole thing that the reason this works is because there are administrators literally seeing over that world.
Are there?
Yes. It's fairly early on you find out about Administrator D, the most evil being in that world.
Okay.
Yeah, is the one that's actually making new abilities for the spider because she's thinking about them. You know, like it would be so cool if my intelligence ability and my foresight ability could level up into something like a wisdom ability that could do the power of both, and I don't have to level up one thing. And again, I wouldn't have all these extra abilities. I just have one thing. And a notification code pops up saying, Administrator D is working on your request. And it then works. It then combines into wisdom, and she gets an overpowered skill out of it, as it were. And this happens several times until you find out who Administrator D is and what the rest of the world is. It's actually made part of the system, part of the plot. Whereas with Slime, not so much.
I feel like... I don't know if it's just the adaptations or what, but I feel that one of the biggest failings when it comes to shows like that time I was reincarnated as a slime and So I'm a Spider, So What, it always boils down to the fact that the power creep gets ridiculous and the enjoyment of the show just becomes diluted with, okay, now what ridiculous thing is he going to pull off now? Oh, what ridiculous thing is he going to eat now? Oh, what civilization is he going to create? It becomes boring and monotonous.
You're right.
Formulaic.
The fun with these two, the reason they think they can get away with it, I should say, the reason the authors try to get away with it is because if you actually read through the mangas, the end goal is to beat a power that is actually on a multiversal level. You know, they're actually
sorry, everyone who Thaylien just deafened.
Sorry, that's the cat. I did show it on camera to show she's there. But she's just gone straight past the mic again. Sorry. Anyway, so if the enemies that they have to fight at the end of the thing that they're building up to combat are people that can literally remake their universe. And they have to, I don't know, replace them or defeat them to return the whole universe back to normal.
But it's such a ridiculously high bar.
Yes, it is. And that's, again, they think, sorry to interrupt again, but that's why they think they can get away with these systems.
I just don't feel that is correct or justified or any of it. It just feels like half-assed effort. Like, oh yeah, let's just have them. Like it's akin. I mean, this is where I'm gonna fall into bitching about Future Diaries. It's just akin to like, oh yeah, we gotta fight God. Why are we setting the? Like, okay, actually, this is no. This is the problem though. Like, in World of Warcraft, one of the expansions is that you have to fight a newborn god to free the old pantheon who have been depowered, so that they can repower and imprison the old, the one god that could wipe everything out, and it's just like Sargeras.
Right.
I'm like, this plot is ridiculous. Why isn't anything just, squashing us between its toes? Like this is. I don't know why the escalation always has to get.
Because that's a fetish.
Regardless of the joke, I don't understand why the goal is so absurdly high. It makes it untenable and boring.
I think chicken and the egg argument there.
Why?
So it makes sense to scale your protagonist to your antagonist, right?
Right. No, it doesn't.
But no, in some way that you can actually scale the protagonist to the point where they can defeat the antagonist.
No, again, it doesn't.
Right? Why
Case
not?
in point, solo leveling. Antagonist, weird, creepy god smiley thing that gives him...
No. Think about it narratively, not power levelingly. When I say scale, I mean, it makes sense that your protagonist is in some way the answer to the problem of the antagonist. Right? That's why they're the protagonist. Right? That's why they're the hero, because they have to defeat the villain. Right? And how they do that is important.
Superman has to be able to defeat General Zod, but it's a case of whether he prisons him in the Phantom Zone or snaps his neck.
Or, yes. So, it's a matter of, you can see the point of fighting God when it's something like No Game, No Life. Because it's a game.
No, but it's not a fight, though.
No, I know. But that's what I mean. You're scaling your protagonists to match your antagonists because it's a game. Okay?
Yeah, Rudy's going to fight Dragon God.
Yeah?
Dragon God?
So, anyway. So, so there is a point to making your protagonist the answer to the antagonist of the show.
Oh, give that kitty some attention.
So, but then people liked, as slop shows and manga go, the idea of power scaling, the idea of leveling up and getting stronger, right? And so the bad shows, the really bad shows, made the protagonists level up and get stronger for no reason, because they could then defeat the bad guy easily and nothing was ever a challenge to them. Right?
There's no actual narrative reason for them to get
overpowered
stronger.
main characters. They would give them these overpowered powers at the start of the show, like Isekai Cheat Magician or something like that, and it was terrible. So it's likely that the people that came up with Spider or Slime said, okay, well, what if I want to use that system but give them a real end goal? What do they have to challenge that can make them power up that far? Oh yeah, universal level gods.
I think one of the biggest drawbacks to a lot of these shows is that it always has to boil down to, I gotta fight something, as opposed to something like Campfire Cooking in Another World, where our main protagonist just wants to keep out of the way of any conflicts, any wars, or anything like that. Or again, we have Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. We've got Toru and Alma, who are like, Toru's gone up and fought against not only gods, but also the entire what was it? It wasn't Order? Was it the Order Dragons?
Yeah, her family.
It was the neutral Chaos. No, it wasn't her family. She didn't fight the Chaos Dragons. She fought the dragons that allied with the gods, right? She single-handedly fought the whole lot, and then she no, I want to have a slow life. I want to have a chill life. I want to go live in. The goal was not conflict. It was just to live a happy life. But the shows that seemingly no, my goal is to just fight to ad infinitum. They're boring. Like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with any of them, right? Okay, Jonathan needs to defeat Dio, otherwise Dio is going to take over the world, right? Joseph needs to defeat Kaz, because otherwise Kaz is going to take over the whole world. Jotaro wants to defeat Dio because he needs to bring his mum back to life. Josuke trying to stop the murderer Kira from going around murdering everyone.
Jotaro and Jinwoo have the same goal. Then they will both want to bring their brother back. There we go. Solo Leveling is just as good as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
No, but isn't Jinwoo still just constantly? He's just fighting. He's just like, I'm just gonna keep fighting, and like he's just look, there's something to fight.
So he can afford the elixir. Or so we can get the ingredients for the elixir.
Sister Leveling has told me that his mum's already better.
Yeah, but now there are other reasons. Like he's got to save Japan.
Sister Leveling has told me.
Yeah, so there you go. He's got to fight God because Japan.
Yeah.
So
otherwise, the ants will take over the world.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like Jonathan.
There is more to
otherwise, he'll take over the
whole
world.
Thing. There is more to the whole thing, and it's one of those things of the protagonist knows nothing about the larger plot, and it's just stumbled into it. But hey,
I don't think there's anything wrong with having.
Either.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having the focus be getting stronger to fight a threat. It's all in how you narratively handle it. If it's just getting stronger with like no character growth, no that's it. No narrative, flow. It's just like the entire hyperbolic time chamber was awful because it just skipped all of the development.
Hyperbolic Iron Tamer.
Why why did Maximilian Pegasus steal the soul of Yugi's grandpa?
Because it turns out he's not gay and he's actually trying to revive his wife. He wants the power of the Millennium.
That's the abridged.
No,
the abridged one is gay.
He wants the power of the Millennium items, which he knows that Yugi's grandpa had briefly, but he also then knows that it's been passed on to Yugi, and so he uses grandfather as a
bargaining, as a
basically
hostage.
Blackmail as a hostage to get hold of the Millennium items, because the Millennium items can grant a wish, and he wants to revive his wife.
Okay, hey Yugi, I want to revive my wife. Can I borrow that for like 5 minutes tops?
Pharaoh would never let that happen,
and nobody will get them. Yep.
Yeah.
Why the fuck does he even grant a wish? It's stupid. So fucking stupid. So goddamn.
I think the wish shouldn't be used to revive the dead for the same reason that genie wishes can't.
Right, let us.
One honourable mention is the wrong way to use healing magic.
No, that's a terrible mention.
No, that's fair enough. Because
as a concept, it's brilliant. As an execution, it's poor.
Yeah.
The idea.
How is it a brilliant concept?
The idea that you can push yourself past your limits by just healing yourself. I mean, that's really good. It's really smart.
No.
That's just overpowered gamer logic, right?
No, it's actually something that people have been trying to do in real life for fucking ages. Because human muscles and bones get tougher if you break and heal them.
Yes.
That's what muscle training actually is. It's
the reason your muscles hurt is because you
tears.
Exactly.
This is why medical students self-medicate, because they
give themselves Adderall all the time so they can study.
Tylenol.
Yes.
Sorry,
Tylenol. Yeah.
No. But this is the thing: is if you can create these micro tears in your muscles and these micro fractures in your bones and heal them faster, you would become tougher faster. You'd be able to get stronger faster.
Yeah, I get that, but like
being able to heal constantly through it is doing the same thing. But the idea is that there is only one other person who is on screen that has done this, and she's fucking scary because of it.
God, I wish I knew like what we rated this as, because I didn't finish the series because I got bored, and I swear whoever rated it didn't rate it that highly.
I had quite a taste to it, but not anymore, because the production on it wasn't all that great, and the plot conveniences they did with the plot conveniences kind of
no
did the story for me.
Production.
No, the production was all right for the most part. The only thing that really turned me off was him deciding suddenly to use punch somebody with healing power. Like that was just.
Well, it was literally on advice to do so. The idea that you can hit somebody, make it hurt, and heal it up again instantly. So it's still
really weird. It's still really weird.
Yeah, it is really weird.
Let's wrap up because
this
is like half an hour longer than I was expecting.
See. Definitely a short topic.
Conclusions: power-ups should be earned and not shit.
It's good if it's done right.
It's good if it's done right.
They should be character-driven, not point-driven.
Exactly.
I don't even know what the point was of wrong way to use healing magic. Right, let's move on to... What? I don't. Right, so let's move on to the supporter questions. First of all, we have Zrugel. Sorry, folks. No memes or comments this week. Now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai. Oh, before Nasuth pushes the stop recording button, make sure you like and sub...
Black screen.
Right, Zrugel also asks, what's the last thing you guys had to eat? How was it? I had instant noodles, and it was good, because I filled it with loads of stuff. Although I now need to get fresh spring onions.
I had crispy Mum-Nums, and they're still having them, and they're quite nice.
Every morning I pretty much start the day out. It says it's oh wow, it's 3 p.m. already? Holy shit.
Yes!
It's almost time for lunch, but for breakfast I usually have like a scrambled egg on toast and with onion and cheese, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Nasuth is allergic to the idea of there being 2 9 o'clocks in the same day.
You're not wrong.
Right. Grand Purveyor of the Xeno Hunt asks, it's been about a year since I asked, what could you eat for every meal in any single day? For me, it's homemade and enchiladas. What's the one thing
Chicken
I
nuggets.
could eat?
Eggs.
No.
Eggs are really good.
Yeah, because I can eat various types of eggs.
Do they have to be? I was going to say, do they have to be prepared the same way every time?
Well, as long as they're eggs, I would say they fit.
Okay, so scrambled, fried,
I'm gonna go
parboiled.
I'm gonna go with yeah, I kind of want to say eggs as well. Eggs and bread.
Eggs are very versatile.
They are, especially scrambled. Right, so that's it for the supporter questions. Time to move on to the comments from last week. So first of all, we have the news. Google says, news! Thalien's back. Glad he's feeling better. We're not. Those Back to the Future covers look great. Somehow fresh and nostalgic at the same time. Cool, thanks for the news, guys. Looking forward to the 3-episode review. I hope you
liked it.
Strom's Shell said, news! No more arena segment. Literally unwatchable. Very true. She takes over the cast anyway. Those stories were interesting. Thanks for the news. All right. Then we got the comments from the cast. RickU7 says, what did he...
At that timestamp, saving for later.
It's Thaylien saying, this just in, Nasuth's a real fan of cream pie.
Yep.
Strombo's Shell says, I started watching... Strombo's Shell says, I started watching Dusk Beyond... End of the World. Sorry, Dusk Beyond... Yeah. I didn't hate it, but I'm dropping it. It's just... doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, I think I'm there. A Wild Last Boss Appears is another one I started. It didn't thrill me either. I'm dropping this one too. I'll wait to see if Xeno changes his rating to see if I pick it back up. Yes. Watch the awful show Nocia. Yes.
All right, just for you.
For you.
Actually, I started watching A Gatherer's Adventure in Isekai. I kind of forgot I saw it this season because it felt really formulaic, but I didn't really hate it. I'll wait to see how Thaylien likes the whole thing. He'll give it a 3-star acquired taste. Yeah, middle of the road, 3-star acquired taste.
Middle of the road, yeah.
Zrugel says, Kanpai! I haven't started watching anything yet this season, so it's all new for me. Oh, really? That news episode was plagued with hiccups. Great editing, Nasuth. I barely noticed.
Yay!
That was when my internet was super chill.
Yeah.
I've seen a few memes of that. May I ask for one final thing? Scene going around. Yeah, I
definitely.
I'm enjoying it. I've also heard the anime One Punch Man Season 3 is bad. Well, actually, I heard it was steaming poo. But if Nasuth thinks it's not bad, then I have hope. If you go in watching it as a comedy, that's the more important thing. Exactly. Also, the only thing I've ever seen people bitch about is the slide.
Garo scene, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the one slide. Then I see like content creators that they'll try and like hype it up, saying like, oh, there's 6 whole minutes of still frames. Like, yeah, this is very common in anime. Like, congratulations, you've noticed what everyone else has. Good fucking job. Why do you think it looks so fucking pretty? Continuing on with Zrugel's comments. Kitty. Cyviz sounds wild. Interesting.
Cyviz.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what were we going to say, Nasuth?
I think it's Cyviz. Isn't it Cyviz?
I don't know.
It's Cyviz.
Yeah.
Whatever. Sander. Lol, I forgot we had the rating what the fuck. It's Wait, have I seen this week's episode? I don't know if I've seen this week's episode.
I haven't.
Tales of Wedding Rings, lol, oh Thaylien. Yes, what a show for November indeed.
Non-stop nut November.
Yeah. I was just about to say that this show, my status as an assassin, sounds like fan fiction. Sounds really cringe. That's why Thaylien loves it.
Out of the edge, it is so bad. It's funny because of.
That's why he's giving it a 4-star must watch. Excuse me, Campfire.
Nothing special.
Campfire cooking it only gets 3-star acquired taste. Okay, but is that compared to the first season? It is not compared to the first season.
Yeah.
You, sir. Sorry, hold on.
Glasses.
You, sir, are double
and very wrong.
And very wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
I love the first season. All the things about campfire cooking are up my alley. I've watched it multiple times, and I may binge it again before I binge the second season. But you see, you're not binging the second season, right? Sorry,
you will, though.
I'm not binging the second. Season. I'm watching it episode by episode, and again, I've watched another episode, and I'm just like, yeah, this is solid. You know, don't get me wrong, but it's still the same thing as season 1. You could have,
if it weren't for Sui, you wouldn't even be watching it.
Yeah, seriously, like Sui's like what makes the bloody show. I hate Fel. I hate the fucking wolf. It drives me insane. The only upshot of the pixie dragon is that it's less screen time for the wolf. Right. I like slice of life shows. I may try Past the Monster Meet Milady. I'd probably say hold off for the time being. Nasuth pushes glasses up. That hairstyle in Shibake?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's called a top knot. It's called a top knot. It is specifically Japanese and was used to cushion the head from the helmet The top bald area was shaved to allow the scalp to breathe and not overheat. The hairstyle was originally used by the samurai and became a symbol of warrior class status, and as such, it was illegal for commoners to wear. Interestingly, that hairstyle is still illegal to this day, except for sumo wrestlers, and when they retire, they are required to cut it off. Sorry you didn't ask, but I wanted to share that. No, I love that.
All right, riddle me this then, Zrugel. How come it's being worn by a bunch of merchants and normal people in this show, and not just warriors?
Wrong. It's factually wrong.
Right.
It's factually wrong, just like Hell's Paradise, and right, making a good time this episode, guys. Good job. I love the memes this week. Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Right. So let's move on. Speaking of the memes, memes. We got
remember,
5.
You leave a comment below, and next week we may read it out for you.
We probably will.
To ensure that your interaction was not wasted.
Memes.
Yep. Most of our memes, you know the deal. But you can come to our Discord and drop some memes for us to review or to look at as a viewer meme. And then we also archive all of our memes on kanpaicast.com, where you can go relive the past. Right. So did I say 5 viewer memes? Let's do it. Let's do it. So what motivates you? Bro gives me the will to live. It's boring to do nothing. Is that Miyazaki?
Yeah, it's totally Miyazaki.
It is.
Yeah.
100%.
Boring to do nothing.
Yeah,
Bro
I completely agree.
Boring to do nothing. Pacific Ocean has 3.9 stars out of 5 on Google Maps. Who the fuck is downvoting the ocean?
Look, everyone knows the Atlantic is better, alright?
Oh my god.
Fuck you, shark thing.
And the Indian Ocean beats them all. Wait, how did they get the eyes to only be rings like that, though? Because
no, they had to put in they'd have put them back and use toothpicks or something to keep it in place.
Must be. All right, the next 2 are video memes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Dear Lord in heaven.
Are you sure you're not an enemy stand user?
Oh.
Nice. That's impressive.
Look, my master.
Indeed you are. Indeed you are, kitty cat. All right.
It is anime, but it is also appealing to Nasuth and I.
Indeed. All right, on to my memes, which are clearly the best. Cringy No November anime memes made by middle schoolers. Oh god, here it comes!
Oh my god.
And the rest of them are NNN memes. No, I'm kidding. So these are the villain versus the protagonist. It's all over for you. You are powerless to stop me. Friends in the background. Don't give up! Love interest. I've always loved you. Anime opening begins playing. Strangely fitting for a power-up episode.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Cringy Tanjiro. No. Cringing Denji and Saki? Saki.
Aki.
All right. Subtitle: farting noise. Deaf people realizing that farting makes a noise.
Oh, that's brilliant.
This is one of the key reasons I'm on Push to Talk, is because I know farting makes a noise.
All right. Next one's a video. How it felt trying to resist the urge to cough slightly in a dead silent room back in 2020.
Oh my god.
And my last one.
Oh man, that's relatable.
It's November,
God.
and something has appeared in everyone's freezer. It's ice is starting to very slowly melt for some reason. She's coming. She's coming, everyone. All right, on to Thaylien.
You don't need over 1,000 chapters, episodes, and 20 years to tell a story. It won't be fun. If those kids could read, they'd be very upset.
Yeah.
I feel that that's appropriate for this episode as well.
All right, next one's a video.
I've told you a million times not to wake me up like that.
Fuck you too, then.
I've done this before.
Oh, it's on repeat.
Yeah,
Me up
brilliant.
like that.
Just go to the next one.
This is Lost.
Lost instead of loss. I get it.
What?
I hate to tell you this, but one of these should be slightly higher than the other one.
It should. But I'm not the one who made this one, I just found it.
I don't get it.
Xena doesn't know what loss is.
Do you know
I'll
what
explain
Lost
it.
is?
I'll explain it when you're older.
Cool.
Yeah. Raised in rural country, away from most people by a single parent, poor social skills and misunderstand social norms, both seen as unfit because of how they were born, but overcome it. Most of their friends start as antagonists, but warm up to them. Insane appetites. Oh yeah, it's Goku and that one Uma Musume.
Oh god. Ogiri Cap.
Nope, Gold Chip's the only one
Yeah,
that exists.
Ogiri Cap.
No, that's fuck off.
Bakugo, let's go, bitch, give me your strongest punch. Yeah, well, at least I'm in heaven.
You're freezing in the background.
Yeah. That's from Super.
And
when Frieza
a
was
very
trapped.
short one for my final video meme, but it is the best video meme.
Oh my god.
The fact that it's Frieren. Oh, that's great. Alright. On to Xeno.
Alright, my friend. Discovering something new. Chemistry. Biology.
True.
Before you put on my second one, volume warning. I give people now volume warning. Right.
Okay, the next
As
three
it's
are
ready.
video memes, but apparently, yes, this one is especially dangerous. That was actually pretty awful.
It was the way Kaoru's head blew up.
どんな字を書くの？書いてみてお兄ちゃん。
あ、俺の名前はね。
Good edits.
God, I love that scene. That's gonna get us copyright struck, though.
Guys, there's
With
a
it.
bomb on the train!
Obama's on the train.
No, a bomb!
Oh, good. I fucking hate Obama, but I'm not racist or anything.
I am.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Power doing that. Yeah.
100%.
What?
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun.
right. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And then my last one.
Right. I get it. I definitely. Yep.
Oh,
That's not bad.
Just to highlight, the girls are from Zombieland Saga. Right?
Right.
we're idols. Call yourselves whatever you like, you Protestant fuckbuckets.
Right, that is it for the memes, and that is it for the show. So, thank you very much, everyone, for watching and or listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai.
And
Kanpai.